Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar for Skillup Africa. My name is Yusuf Balogun, and it's exciting to have everyone here today. So interesting that this is our second episode of this webinar, and we have a distinguished person I'll be introducing very soon. Flowing from our last webinar 2 weeks back on how to get into tech from those that don't have background in tech. So flowing from that, we saw some questions. People raised some of the questions we had then was about cybersecurity, and someone asked, "How do I get into it? How do I start?" It's so ambiguous for people to know what cybersecurity entails and how they can get started. And that brought one of the questions, one of the central topic we are discussing today, which is cybersecurity, the opportunities that are there and the future prospects. With me today, I have a cybersecurity expert with over 5 years of experience and talking to us about that topic. But before then, I would like to reach out to everybody streaming live from our social media platforms. We are streaming live from our Facebook and YouTube, and you can share with your friends to join this because it seeks to shed more light about cybersecurity, demystify some of the concerns that we all have about it, and some of the issues about, okay, how do I start? I don't have a background in tech. Cybersecurity, does it have to be with, do I have to be in the military? Some people have asked about, do I have to be in the military to get cybersecurity? Does it have to have a prerequisite? All of those questions will be addressed today. So this is Skill Africa's webinar where we're doing this every 2 weeks about educating the public, educating Nigerian youth, the African youth about to get into tech and the various parts of tech that you can get into, one of which is cybersecurity itself. So I'll be introducing our guest, who is his name is Gideon Aniechi. And Gideon is a skilled cybersecurity expert with over 5 years experience supporting, designing, implementing, and overseeing measures to protect organizations' data, system, and network. So in the space of time, Gideon has spoken at several cybersecurity events, participated in architectural designs, functional and professional service support for several organizations. Gideon has spoken in Nigeria and other West African countries about cybersecurity issues. So he's a certified PECB lead cloud security engineer. He's a professional service support engineer for One Identity and Quest for Africa. Gideon is a certified support engineer for several global and security solutions providers. So you have someone that has a wealth of experience, deep experience about all of this, and he'll be sharing with us today about how he got started in cybersecurity. How we could call it the A to Z of cybersecurity. So he will be shedding more light on that today, and he will be answering some of your questions. So if you have any question about cybersecurity, you can drop it for us on our YouTube channel, drop it for us on our Facebook channel. So we will be answering some of your questions after now. But nevertheless, just stay tuned. You are in for a long conversation. This is will be giving us a presentation about all of these questions. So you don't have to worry yourself. If you have anything in mind that you want to discuss, that you want me to shed more light on, you can drop your questions on the YouTube channel. You can drop your questions on Skill YouTube channel, Skill Africa Facebook pages, and also our LinkedIn pages. So get seated, grab your grab your popcorn and drinks and relax. We are in for a long. So let me reach out to our speaker. Gideon, are you there?
Right, yeah, I'm here. Okay. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
good to have you. How is it? Yeah, I
Oh,
can hear you. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, enjoy your
My
weekend
weekend is
because
going.
yeah, in Lagos, you're just relaxing. You're relaxing. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so thank you, Balogun, for the interesting introduction. At the point while you were talking, I was wondering, okay, uh, is it me you doing all of those descriptions for? Yeah, but that is so cool. And thank you, Skillup Africa, for this opportunity to be on your webinar series today. And for everyone
Yeah.
that are part of this conversation right now, thank you for being a part of the call. My name is Gideon Aniechi. I presently serve as a security engineer for Ethnos IT Solutions, and I've been in this industry for the past few years now, like Balogun said. And in the space of time, uh, I've had the opportunity to work with several industries across the financial industry, the government sector, and several other businesses that have been able to support in this period of time. And so in today's meeting, basically, we're going to be just when I got this um, when I got the call that we're going to be having this, I'd be like, okay, we need to talk about the SYZ of cybersecurity. We need to, I think that would be a better place, or that would be a better way to express this thought to everyone. And so I said, okay, let's do SYZ of cybersecurity. And that is a very strategic, because that's going to show you or teach you how you're supposed to um, where you're from, where you are right now to where you're going, and what industry you're trying to come into, and what is in this industry for you. Okay, so this is why I'm here today, basically. So Balogo, I don't know if I should proceed or there's something else.
Yeah, you can proceed. You can proceed with your presentation. You can proceed. You have the platform now. So,
All right, great. Okay, thank you, Balogo, and thank you everyone on the call. So I'm going to be going straight away into the slide. When you can see the slide, would you just let me know? I believe the slide should be on the screen now. Um, okay. Can you see the slide now? All right, great. Okay, so here I have a slide that is titled "The SYZ of Cybersecurity," and I named it the mountain view, or the mountain top standpoint. Now, I named that strategically to, give you an holistic view from where I stand right now, and telling you what you need to do to get up to this kind of level. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, like I've been here for the past 5 years, and we're still going to be here for a long time. And in this space of time, we've been able to do quite a lot of things. And so I'm going to be showing you from my own point of view how you can get here, and how easy it is, basically. So right now, we're going to be answering these questions on this call. So where do I start from? So we have a lot of people that say, I am a fresh graduate, I am a student, I am this and that. Where do I start from? What do I need to know? Okay. What are the most important things in cybersecurity? How can I build a portfolio and get a job? What this and what that, several things that you may be asking. And then basically you could be, one person with no experience, no experience whatsoever. You're a fresh graduate, you're an intern, or you're doing your IT, or you're an industry already, maybe a doctor or a lawyer, but you're interested in cybersecurity and you want to get into it. So you're thinking, should I even get into it in the first place? Or, okay, now that I've made up my mind to get into it, what are the things I need to know? So before I go into that highlight and then tell you more about that, I was going through an article a few days ago in preparation for this meeting, and I just need you to know that the cybersecurity industry is an industry that is going to be the most relevant industry in the next few years from now. Like statistics that show that presently this is a $4 trillion industry. And in the next 5 years, it's going to be a $1 trillion industry. That value is going to be is going to, you can imagine what that means for $4 trillion industry to increase by 50%. And according to some statistics, in 2062, it's cybersecurity is going to be like the bench line for industry standard. In other words, every organization, every business, every entrepreneur, every startup is going to have a major part of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is going to be leading the world. Now you're thinking, is this a place where I should be? Then I think you should be. Is the place you should be. If you're at that start point right now and you're thinking of how to proceed, we have the this is your the open check for you to start a career in cybersecurity, because it's not a gamble that am I going to have, is it going to be relevant in the future. It is sure going to be relevant in the future, and it's not going to be a waste of your time. It's going to be something that you are going to be happy that you're doing, and it's gonna bless you. It's gonna help you big time. So yeah, this is the start point. You're right now, say you're in the middle of nowhere with no experience, no understanding of whatsoever, and we want to take you to the next level. So I'm going to be these questions that I listed here are the questions I'm going to be answering on this call. And so I want you to pay close attention at this point. I'm going to be doing more talking than using the slides. So you should pay attention to most of these questions. I've been here for the past couple of years, and I haven't worked with several organizations, several tools, and several concepts in cybersecurity. So I can tell you that these things are constant. Okay. Or before I proceed, I would like to establish that the people on this call are those who have been addressed, right? So the questions that I listed on this slide address your questions. So I believe that you're on this call for answers. I want to assume that you have some basic understanding of computer. You use a computer already, and then you just have some basic understanding, okay, and you just want to go into cybersecurity. I'm not assuming that this is your first time in front of a computer. All right, I'm not doing that assumption. I'm assuming that you're up here and then you just want to move up. Okay. All right. So I haven't been here. I've seen a series of things that have been constant. And then these are the things that you need to pay attention to in cybersecurity. There's something called the OSI model. The OSI model, I'm going to go into that in details as we proceed. And then we have the networks and the firewall. These are the first level of things that you're going to be hearing, okay? And then we have Active Directory, we have virtualization, we have implementation. You hear this jargon among cybersecurity guys be like, oh, we just completed a deployment, we just completed an implementation, or I'm going through a configuration. So these are things that you're going to be, getting involved in. These are things you're going to be doing on a steady. And then we have where you now hear about the defense and attack. So yeah, a disclaimer here is that a lot of people believe that cybersecurity, when you hear cybersecurity, you are coming into coding, programming and all of that. Cybersecurity is far from that, although programming and coding it's a part of it, but there are several industry or several departments that makes up cybersecurity. We have lots of them. You can do a Google to check this, but yeah, there are several things. So right on this call, I'm focusing more on you being a cybersecurity engineer, and then the opportunities and the future prospects. Okay. So I haven't established the constants. I will be breaking down those constants here, so that you can get a better understanding of those things. I mentioned the first one to be the OSI model. And then talking of the OSI model, what exactly is this OSI model? And how does it make sense? So I'm going to tell you a story to start with. Um, I did computer engineering in school, and then being as a computer engineer, definitely I work with computers. We've done repairs, motherboard. We were even writing C. I think we're writing C sharp or something like that to do microcontrollers. So yeah, we were really granular. I was working with the computer every day. But then when I had the opportunity to do my IT in a cybersecurity company, and then I got in, and they asked me on that day that, okay, what do you know? And I started telling them about Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, CSL, HTML, JavaScript, and all those things. It's okay, yeah, that's good. Do you know what a network diagram is? That was the first question, and I be like, I've never heard that term. What's a network diagram? So because I was, it was a facial interview, so I couldn't do a Google at that point. But then I figured that the cybersecurity space is extremely different from a lot of other engineering space. Computer space, because it's not about the things you already know. Like, yeah, a lot of you know how to use computer. You use Zoom regularly, yeah. But then, what is a network diagram? And I was wondering, okay, what is a firewall? Okay, then I came up with the firewall because I did some class with Cisco, so I was able to explain what a network diagram was. a firewall, but I didn't have the clear understanding, and I wasn't accepted basically. So I didn't make success of that interview because I didn't know those things. Although I knew computers, but after a while there was a workaround, and then yeah, I was given the opportunity to learn, and this is the opportunity I'm giving to you right now. So the first thing you want to you know you really need to understand is the OSI model. This is the most important thing in all of your cybersecurity career. I deliberately made this slides or this discussion to be easy or simple, because if you go on YouTube right now and you do a search on how to be a cybersecurity engineer, or how to go into cybersecurity or start a career in cybersecurity, you're sure going to see about 10,000 videos or more than that. But yeah, this is me giving you a practical step-by-step guide on things you're going to see, things you're going to experience every day. Okay, so first thing I said is the OSI model. So we have the physical layer, we have the data link layer, the network layer, the transport layer, and then we have the presentation layer, and then the application layer. Now you're wondering what all of these things are. The physical layer now have to do with you understanding your computer, the power of your computer, what's the hardware component of your computer. Okay, so these are things you're going to face every day. Now we're talking about data link layer. Data link layer addresses the connectivity between one computer and another computer. Now you're talking about RJ45. You're talking about cables, LAN connections, and all of those kind of things. Okay, and then we're talking about the network layer. So after you've moved up to, you have a computer already, and then you've connected a cable to it. Now, what is controlling the cable? What is the concept or the protocol that these cables are using to make sure that when you send the file is able to get to the other end? Now, this is where your network comes in. We have the network layer where the routers, the switches, they play. That is in the network layer. These are things you're going to face every day, and transport layer is where you start to talk about protocols, ports, HTTPs. You start to talk about the different things that make up the communication. What is the internet? How the internet operates? This is the place where you understand this. Then we have the session layer. Like right now, we're on this call. We are having a session, okay. And once this session expires, this session is gone. All right. Now that is managing session right now, that is ensuring that this session is open. When you click on a particular link, it leads you to this session. On this StreamYard platform, there are several other, maybe thousands other sessions that are happening right now. But a link is able to bring you to this particular call, means that there's a session governing this thing. So you want to understand the back end, okay? And then after the session layer, we have the we have the presentation layer. Now this interface, the GUI, the things you can see, okay, beyond the things that are happening in the back end. Okay, now that's where we have the presentation layer. And then you have the application layer, which are the different applications that are functioning on the systems. You have your different web browsers and how they interpret the different codes that has been programmed. So this OSI model, I can say that it's the most important thing in cybersecurity, because the understanding of the OSI model gives you a foundation. Okay, it gives you a solid foundation. Understanding the OSI model, you can even have a job just understanding the OSI model, because with that you can already start doing network configuration. Model gives you the everyday understanding of the things you're going to face. Okay, I'll move up from that to the next layer, which is the next constant, which is networks. So cybersecurity is based on network. The internet is based on network. I should assume that when you hear that I'm putting something in cloud, I'm working on the cloud, or my server is on the cloud. It's not like some angels are holding the servers up there. All right, it's a computer that is sitting somewhere, but then you are able to reach it with your you know, with your internet provider, your ISP, and then those servers are hosted on someone's, on a computer, and then your ISP gives you the access to be able to reach that server on a particular IP address. Now, the entire internet, the entire scope, the cyber, everything is functioning on a network. It's basically a network of me and 7 billion people in the world. Okay, so everything is functioning on a network. So basically, you want to understand what a network is. Now we go straight away into TCP and internet. I just made a little reference to that. You want to understand what is TCP, how IPs are made, what are the classes of IP, these different classes of IP, how do they function? We have the class A, we have the class B, class C. What are their functions? What are their roles? What can you use them for? Okay. Now, you will see the application of some of these concepts as we proceed, because these are the foundations. So the OSI model is the foundation, the network is also a foundation. As we move up this ladder, you will start to see the application of these foundations. All right. Then we have the firewall. I'm sure many of you have heard firewall, even if you don't understand what it is. But firewall is that it's either a hardware component or a software component that is seated somewhere that protects your network from intruders. Okay, that you can set certain policies and protocols on a firewall, and that helps to protect your network. And then the next thing you should understand is DNS and DHCP. Okay, so let me make a clear example here. Say you want to go to Facebook, and then you just go and you type in facebook.com, and then it goes to Facebook. You will never see anything like 10.8.5 dot something anywhere. All of these things, you just see Facebook, and then the next thing, when you go to your profile on Facebook, you see Facebook slash your name, Gideon Aniechi, for example. But you never see any hype anywhere. But the truth of the matter is that Facebook, it's sitting on an IP. There's an IP that you reference each time you call Facebook. And so, what is helping to ensure that when you're able to reach the Facebook without typing in those IP address that you may not be able to remember every time. This is the DNS. So the DNS helps to it's a naming system that helps you to be able to attribute name to every IP address. Imagine all the websites you visit today, you have to cram the IP address. Just imagine how tedious life is going to be. All right, so yeah, that's DNS, and then we have DHCP. DHCP is able to it's the concept that helps you to able to dynamically assign IP address to different components, and yeah, automatically assign IP address such that the IP address are not conflicting at any point in time. And then after that, you want to start talking about the routings, the NATings, the gateways. These are high level concepts now. And then next, you want to start talking about, you want to talk about lands, WANs, MANs. What are these things? So we have a LAN, a local area network. And this is common in small businesses, right? Where you have a person, um, you have one computer seated in a particular space, right? You have several people seated in a particular space on one on one computer, on a network rather, sorry, on a network, and they have a network that is governing all the people in that particular space. So you can refer to that as a LAN, and the network is managed by maybe someone, but they are all in one network. That's a LAN. So I'll give you an example of what a WAN is. So we have an organization A in Lagos, and then the same organization has a branch in Abuja, but they want to be able to relate on the same network. They want to be able to share resources, share files, share resources basically, or share packets. Yeah. Now they want to configure a LAN, a WAN connection. So this is a LAN on this side, a LAN in Lagos, and then a LAN in Abuja, connected together over a network, which that what makes up a WAN network. Now you're talking about after, so it could be several lands together, that makes up a one. Then you're talking about a man. Now, a man network is a metropolitan area network where we have, say, maybe a city, a particular geolocation of, a particular geolocation under a particular network. Okay, so like there was a time where, um, during the pandemic, I think sometime last year or so, where Twitter was blocked by the guys that manage the Nigeria network, and several other people. When you want to use Twitter now, you have to go through a VPN. Why was it possible for them to be able to block access to Twitter in the Nigerian space? It was possible because the entire Nigerian space, or the network of the people in Nigeria, is managed by a group of man network. So what the guys managing the infrastructure just have to do is to restrict access to Twitter from that man network. Now, then, since Twitter is still accessible over several other man network around the world, what you just have to do now at that point is connect to a VPN, right? And the VPN gives you access to be able to reach Twitter on other man network. So now, with some of this understanding, you start to see the real life application of your network environment. Now, having established the OSI model and then networks, we're moving straight into you starting to manage an enterprise, you getting into the real things. Because in the first two levels, this is you doing understanding your understanding protocols, you're understanding how things happen, the back end, the front end, all of those things. Where you become practical is where we start talking about Active Directory. In this point is where you're talking about Windows servers. What is a Windows server? Maybe on your system you're running Windows 11, Windows 10, the likes, or you're running a Linux operating system. But then, what is Active Directory? What is a server in the first place? Now, Active Directory is like a concept of Microsoft, the Microsoft service where you're able to manage users and manage computers. Now, this is not you just operating your own endpoint, okay? This is you being able to manage other people endpoints, able to set policies, able to define what people can do on a particular machine in a network, okay? And this is where things get interesting. Like when you get to this Active Directory part, this is where things really get interesting. Windows servers and clients. Okay, there's a server and there's a client. You start to understand that concept. Then we have a domain like Facebook.com, Google.com. Every organization that you see today, every businesses have a domain. And in their own domain, they have certain things they do. They have their own policies, they have their own rules. And that takes us straight away into group policy objects, GPOs. What is GPO? What do they stand for? And then what is their role? And then we have the file management, we have user computers, and window event management. You see, this Active Directory part, I think, is the most important part for me. In my own opinion, this is the most important part of cybersecurity because this is where this is the place where you start from, and every other technology leverages these things. Okay, every other technology, say, is it a sim, a film, now you're wondering what are those things. Okay, as you get along, you're going to understand this. A film is like a file integrity monitoring tool. Then we have a sim, a security information event management tool. We have every other tool in cybersecurity leverage the Active Directory. Every other tool. Even if you develop a tool and then there's no integration to Active Directory, people will not buy that tool because every organization is using one form of Active Directory or so. So now, if you're not using Microsoft Active Directory, maybe you're using Azure, you could be using Cloud, or you're using the Jump Cloud, or you're using is very important. Okay, and then you now move up the ladder where you now have the virtualization. Now, virtualization is where you as a person start to create your own network. This is where you start to create your own network, start to to prepare yourself for getting hands-on. I would explain to you in the next slide why this is very important. So we have the hypervisor. These are things you have to understand. What is an hypervisor? How is he operating? Like presently on my endpoint right now, I have I have like four different applications that are running using a virtualization concept. And one popular virtual platform or virtualization platform is the hypervisor. And then we have the VM, where that is the host of the VM EXI and several other VM platforms. Then we have cloud computing. This is where your Azure come into the place, and then AWS and the rest of that. Then we have desktop virtualization. And we have issues. All of these are under virtualizations. Most times I'll have like 5 laptops in my environment, and then I'll have cables everywhere. But with virtualization, I have all of them in my virtualization platform, and I can just walk around them, create interfaces, do my tests and simulations without expenditure, you see. And then the last part for me in cybersecurity is implementation and configuration. So now you see all of the things under the USI model, all the things under the network, the Active Directory, the virtualization, the implementation and the configuration of those things is the peak of it. Okay, that's the peak of it, and that's what a cybersecurity analyst level tier one and level two. This is where they play. Okay, where you configure Active Directories, configure users and accounts, configure computers, what happens on a computer, managing a computer databases, man database, using PowerShell scripts, using the CMD efficiently, and then implementing Linux servers and operating system. This is like the peak of it. That is the peak of it. Okay, where you understand technology. All of the things we've listed are technology platforms that you need to understand. And then cybersecurity engineering basically is you knowing how to implement, design, maintain, and configure those things efficiently. Okay, um, this is it. That is it. All right, that is it in short words. I'll go to the next slide, and this next slide here is um, I'll go back to that story I was telling you. So after I managed to get the internship opportunity to work in a cybersecurity organization, I told you already that I didn't have any experience. There was no experience of cybersecurity. I was just a guy that knew how to use computer. Okay. Now to get started, I had to get information. And like I told you earlier, there's several information on the internet, several sources, but these are some of the sources that I believe it's going to really help you, and it's going to give you that understanding. Computer guy, you see this guy is a good guy. If you go on YouTube and you type Eli the computer guy, you see the channel, and then you will see several videos. But in starting up, I would recommend that you start with the Windows Server. He has a playlist on Windows Server. Okay, I would recommend that you start with that. That playlist has about 90 something videos that you have. Okay, so because if you just watch it like a video, the way we watch comedy skits and all of those things, you're not going to get anything. But as you watch the videos, you so I didn't even know. I think I just stumbled on him somehow. And this was in 2017. And then I started watching Eli the Computer Guy. And between 2 weeks, I had my cybersecurity job. I had my Active Directory. I did not understand the concepts. I was just following, press this, press that. Okay. But then the part where I started getting the understanding of what was happening or what I was doing was the part where I got into I kind of got into these books. I saw these books on the internet, and then I was able to get them. So we have Networking All in One for Dummies. This is a very important book, okay, that I got access to, and this book gives you the gives you cybersecurity from up to down. I can guarantee you that. And now you're wondering why do you have the name for dummies? Now it's not dummy per dummy, you get. But I think that was that. I don't know the reason why they had to use the word dummy, but the book is a great book. And then the other book that you really need to pay attention to is the Linux administration. Now, for those of you that are going to get into cybersecurity and you're going to be either in the defense or in the attack or in the management, you need to have understanding of Linux. Like, it's very important, and you have to be able to use Linux operating system efficiently. So these three resources on your screen right now, I can guarantee you, if you can complete these three resources on your screen, you will get a cybersecurity job and you will do it well. I can guarantee you. Take my word, mark it, quote me anywhere. All right. So I put together um, a list of contents that I think can just get you started immediately. So there's some online schools or courses that you can take right now that are actually free. We have Cybery. So one of the other things I did in that year, 2018, was I started a few courses on Cybery. It was a goal. So I set a goal on how many courses I'm going to have to take on Cybery, and I was consistent. So I took classes on Cyber. It's a free platform, although there's a there's a place where you can subscribe, right? But then they have the free contents that can get you started. Okay. And then there's a course, is a Google certificate. It's called Google IT Automation with Python Professional. That is a very important certification that you may need to have. Actually, they give you the certificate after this training, and then you write the exam. This is a very important one, especially if you're going to be going into um, um, different levels of um, automation, writing of scripts, and several other things that you're going to meet in your career as a cybersecurity person. You may need to take that certificate. And then I remember that one of the other classes I took was the just a moment. One of the other classes I took was the CS50 by EDX. This is a course that is from Harvard. It's an Harvard course that was included on EDX. Okay, so by taking this course, it gives you the introduction and then the fundamentals of cybersecurity, like in form of a school. And yeah, there's a certificate after this course. I remember that I started this course, but I didn't complete this course. I started the course, and then the way Nigeria moves so fast. So I kind of moved. I was quick enough to move above the things that were being shared on the course. Okay, so yeah, that's that for that. And then the next thing is I also started taking some courses on LinkedIn. Okay, at that point, LinkedIn was still Linda. Okay, so but right now it's LinkedIn Learning. So I took some courses on Linda. I had access to some free courses, and then I paid for some courses also. I can't remember what their names are, but on if you why I had to include LinkedIn here is that if you add that you want to be a cybersecurity engineer or you state your career path on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is able to direct certain courses to you. And when you complete those courses, LinkedIn is able to link you up with people that are looking for people with that skill sets. Do you get that? So I think that these are very useful places you can go to get understanding. And then these are some YouTube channels that you want to bookmark or subscribe to. We have John Ahmad. This guy is very amazing. Releases content every time about cybersecurity, every time, and their relevance gives you the trends, give you the things that are happening. The first time when the log J Apache log J threat was out there, this was the first. This was how I knew about it, and this was how I understood it, and then I was able to understand how to protect systems against it and how to manage that vulnerability efficiently. And then before it became a major news, right? So you want to subscribe to some of these platforms to ensure that you're on top of your security career at every point in time. And yeah, you have Eli the computer guy. That is my guy. I love that guy. Okay, and he has amazing courses that you can just jump on. And then we have the IPSec, very important channel, InfoSec, and then Cyber Mentor Security Now. These are very important places that you can get information, and then you'll be able to move up. And then I have some relevant websites here. Okay, so in this your career, you're going to require at some point in time require some licensed stuff, maybe some licensed application or softwares. So I shouldn't actually give you this. That is the one on the number one, but I felt like okay, this is me doing giveaway. I can give you that. Many of you may know that already, but several people do not or may not, right? Get into PC is a platform where you can get tools that are supposed to be paid for. You can get them in some other way. Okay, and the reason why I had to put this on the list is because this can help you as a starter. Imagine that you have to start to pay for all the different resources, all the things that you need. It may become the cost of things may discourage you. But we get into PC, you can get it into your PC and start to get use and start to make use of it. And then that is a major place for getting softwares that you need. Okay, I use that a lot. Okay, and then we have the next thing on this line is allitbooks.net. So every IT book every course you want to read on IT, you can get a book, a free book. This is a free resource platform. You can get your books from there. The books that I referenced here, these two books, you can actually get them from this platform for free. But on Amazon, you have to pay for that, but you can get them here for free. Okay, and then we have the Aka News. This is a very this Aka News is one of those news feeds you should add to your RSS so that you can always it is the most important news platform for a cybersecurity person. For me, in my opinion, okay, because they don't just tell you what is happening in the industry, they also give you the comments, reviews of experts, and recommendations, things you need to know. So this is a platform that you should be on. And then you have the trade post. Trade post is similar to Aka News. They also give you news and all of that. And then LinkedIn, very important place, because I know many of you are here because you want to start a career, you want to get a job, you want to meet people. So LinkedIn is your place, really. Get on LinkedIn, connect to people that are in the same industry, and then you can move up from there. And then I added this last website as so when you get to your virtualization, so let's assume that you've been able to configure your Active Directory with sources, right? And then you start virtualization. And now you want to start implementing and doing configuration of applications, of security solutions, and all of that. Rapid7, Splunk, One Identity are industry, like top industry solution providers. Okay. They are top industry OEMs on Gartner. They have, their solutions are on top rates. Okay, they are top ranked rather. and you can use um, applications from Rapid7, Splunk. You can get their trial. They have a trial that runs up to like 30 days, right? That you can get and use that for your practice. So Splunk, Rapid7 has Insights VM, has Metasploit for those guys that want to go into exploiting and all of that. And then guys that want to manage vulnerabilities, which is a very vital part of cybersecurity. And then they also have a SIM. And all of these things, you can actually get a 30 days trial, a free 30 days license to use these tools for free. I'm sure you want to start to do that right now, because just using those two and understanding those two will build your confidence and build your knowledge, and you can even already put that on your LinkedIn as some project that you've done, and already improving your ability to be able to get jobs already. And then Splunk is the biggest sim that I know. Okay, one of the biggest sim that I know. Splunk is like the Google for data. That's their own term, like the Google for data. It's a SIM solution, and you can actually have a free account on Splunk and get to train. You can have a they have a free version that grants you up to 50 gig of data. Okay, you can ingest up to 50 gig of data for free. Okay, so I don't see a reason why you don't want to try that. And then you have One Identity, which has one of the like they have a suite of some of the best solutions in the world. You have the Palm, you have Identity Manager, Password Manager. All these are security tools, and these are tools that you can actually try for free. And then as you gain expertise on these things, on these tools, right, you gain accreditation. They can already start to recommend you to engineers, and organizations that use these tools can start to reach out to you immediately. Okay, so these are relevant things that you can use to build your your understanding and also build a portfolio. The next thing is me doing a high level summary of all of the things that we've said. So there is a you that is a trainer, that is fresh from nowhere. You're trying to start up a career in cybersecurity, and then there is a you that is now in training. Going through Eli the computer guy, reading the network for dummies, and then Linux administration for dummies, going through the different resources that we've shared. And there is a you that has become an IT professional by gaining all of these things, putting all of this information together. I can assure you, if you would just take a bet on me with these three things. Start with that, these three things. I can guarantee you that starting with these three things and then moving up to implementation using this the last link here where I say Rapid7, Splunk, One Identity, and the rest of that. This is you starting to do IT security and become a cybersecurity professional. I'm aware that you can just Google by yourself, right? Check the prospects, check how much cybersecurity engineers are paid locally and internationally. And based on the situation of the world right now, people do remote jobs. So there's no distance to what you can, there's no limitation, rather. Like you could be in Nigeria or be in any other African country, and you could be working in some real big organization abroad, earning in dollars or in pounds, doing relevant things. Okay, so it is an industry that you want to be a part of, and right now on this call we've been able to share with you the ideas and how to get started. So at this point in time we're going to take questions, and I would be able to answer your questions. All right, so Balogun, this is me completed I haven't completed the slide, so right now we can have questions. Are there questions? For some reason, I'm unable to hear you. I think you're muted.
Okay, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I said
Okay.
I almost switched career to cybersecurity a moment ago. I was actually considering, you know, that was how you actually moved me with your conversation, the way you detailed the um interest level. Actually, we appreciate the fact that you went so much about that. Thank you so much. On questions, yeah, we have a lot of questions. Someone just asked that, can we get the slides on Telegram script? Yeah, with the permission of the speaker, Gideon, would you allow us to share your slides to our
Yeah,
community
sure,
members?
sure, sure. You can have the slide.
Okay, so pretty
That's
sure
the
that
easiest way.
question is answered. You have the slides after now. You have it after now. So for me, I actually learned a lot from the lesson. I actually learned the fact that you spoke about your experiences on how you started, how you explored the YouTube channels, the books you read, and how much it has played a vital role, in how far you've come, which we must commend that very well from you. But I would like to ask a question for someone that wants to start out in you to learn and be confident enough to start applying for roles. Would you like to share that with us?
I didn't get that. Can you just rephrase it a little? I didn't get the question.
Okay. For someone that wants to start out in cybersecurity, I would like you to share how long it take you to learn before you started applying for roles in cybersecurity. You know,
Okay, so I'm going to answer this question um, in the
did you
most
get that?
strategic way. So I think for me, right, getting to learn cybersecurity was I should say,
Hello, Gideon. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. The network is
Okay,
just
so I
messing
would
up.
say that for me, learning cybersecurity was rather very quick. Okay, like it was very quick. Because I had the understanding of computers already. Okay. So when I stumbled on Eli the computer guy and then I started to watch those videos, I immediately started to practice. Okay. And then the next thing that happened was I was given a task to ensure that I deliver a working enterprise server in the space of 2 weeks. So that tax got me on my feet and got me running. So I was just running. Okay, so I started to look for resources, get this. I go into Active Directory without even knowing I was in Active Directory. And then I started to deploy users. But with Eli the computer guy, right, I was able to capture these things. So basically it was me doing a training or trying to complete a task. So after the first task, I go into another task, then another task, another task. In the space of 2 months, I was already managing endpoints already. I was already managing users already. And I think towards the end of the second month I was given a task to go and deploy a cybersecurity tool for an organization. At that point, I'd be like, what? Who does this? Like, I didn't have the confidence, right? But normally I'd be like, okay, we can do this. We can do all things to Christ. And then I went for it. I gave from the understanding I had already, I went to the organization and told them that okay, I was ready to do this. I was so confident. My confidence, even amazed the people. And with help from the internet, looking through stuff. So I was able to deploy that solution efficiently. Now, deploying that solution, I faced a lot of challenge. And in resolving those challenges, I learned more. Okay. And then it increased my knowledge. Okay. So putting together what I had already and then the problem I was able to solve while trying to deploy the solution increase the understanding of the things I knew, and then it was just amazing. So I could tell you that it's just a thing of in the space of 2 to 3 months of constant um, study, constant resolution of problems, okay, I was able to get things running in like a space of 2 to 3 months or so. So yeah, this is where it comes. It's really important that you're not just reading and you're not just reading, like you're practicing. It is so important. So I think that that's like the most important thing that will help you to be able to learn and apply what you're learning on time. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gideon. That shows that you just have to start. Just start from anywhere. Start learning, start practicing. Like you said, you don't know you're already into it before you. I think you start learning.
Hello, I'm unable to hear you again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said I actually enjoyed that analogy about how you started. It shows that you're already into it like before you realize that wow, I've learned so much in a short period of time, and it just means that acquire the skill set is very important first before you start applying for
Yeah.
jobs. Because when the jobs come, you don't have much time to start learning. So someone has asked a question now. He said, "What certification are mandatory to even be considered qualified for this field?" Would you mind sharing if the certification to be considered?
Okay. I'll answer that question in this manner. Um, First of all, is they're not okay. So I was in a conference. I was actually in a conference like this sometime in in May or so, and we're talking about the future of cybersecurity in Africa. And then someone asked the same question, said, is certification important to be a cybersecurity engineer, or is knowledge important? Now you have a ratio of people that have certification, and then other people that have knowledge. Certification, like I'm sure we all know, that is not a basic, it's not a yardstick to measure the extent of knowledge that a person has. Okay. The main reason why people do or get certification sometimes, most times, okay, let's say it's for knowledge, but then it's to add to your portfolio, add to your profile. And if you check most of the organizations, the big organizations that hire cybersecurity guys, most of the times they really do not require certain certifications. They just require knowledge. Okay. Um, Certifications are important, right? But then knowledge is more important. But then to now answer the question of what certifications are important, all certifications are important, okay? Because right now, as a starter, you may want to start doing CEH, that is hacking, or you do CompTIA Security Plus or CompTIA networks and the rest of that. All of these are going to build your knowledge base and understanding. But right now, every security job are not requiring anything less than OSCP, CISM, or CISSP. And these are high level certifications. Okay, so if you want to base your understanding on certification, or base the peak of your career based on certification, then you may be getting into an adventure that is going to frustrate you, because as a starter you want to get CISSP that is about a 1 million naira already. you know like, that's not starter stuff, but and that's what organizations are asking for. So most times you want to go for the knowledge than the certificate. But yeah, in terms of, if you have the funds and the resources to get a certification, you can straight away go into CH, V10, go into CompTIA Security Plus, or get your CISM, or get your GAPT. These are very important certifications that you can get. There's even a lower version of um, um, cybersecurity courses that are being offered by EC Council. You have the Code Red. Yeah, Code Red. It's called Code Red. You can get some of those Code Red certifications. They are very cool. They can, spice up your portfolio, your CV. Okay. Yeah, these are some of the certifications you can start with. Hi, Balogun, are you there? Hello. Hello, Balogun, are you there?
Sorry about the rat in network. So
All right, all right.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so I got that question. We had a minor network issue, you know. So I got the question, and I enjoy the fact that you emphasize more on the skill more than the certifications. You know, you can have a certifications, you know, all over there. If the job starts coming and you don't have the necessary skill set to match the certification, then it's as good as not as being useless. You know, so it's important
Exactly.
we encourage people to focus more on their skills and acquiring their mastering the skills than doing the certification. But in the long run, you need certifications to attain some certain roles which are critical. Someone just asked,
Yeah.
what is the major difference between ethical hacking and cybersecurity? Yeah, also myself, I think that we all need explanation on that because many people, you know, we sometimes think it's the same thing. I don't know if it is. Do you mind sharing that with us, please?
All right, great. So the major difference between ethical hacking and cybersecurity is ethical hacking is a branch under cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is like the big umbrella, okay, that covers several things. Okay, so ethical hacking could be, if you're there's different levels of cybersecurity. We have the guys that are doing the attacking, they call them offensive security engineers. And then we have the defensive security engineers, the guys that are defending the networks. And then we have, the pen testers, the rest of them. So ethical hacking is like a branch of cybersecurity that addresses basically to protect a network by exploiting the vulnerabilities and reporting vulnerabilities and fixing them. Okay, it's a branch of cybersecurity. In part of the slide, there's a place where I added defense and attack. So that place where you have the attack part is the part that address ethical hacking, and a good certification for that is the CEH dimension certified ethical hacking, and then we have the EJPT, and then one of the biggest one is the OSCP. Okay, it's like the biggest certificate for ethical hacking side of cybersecurity. Okay, go ahead. I'm with you. Yeah, did you get the answer?
Thank you so much for sharing that. You know, I'm sure that the person is better informed now, myself included. You know, we'll be able to understand the difference between them. So, moving on from that, someone just asked, will you mind sharing your LinkedIn profile? You know, I think they want to probably follow you up on LinkedIn and you know read more about all of this from your personal.
Okay, for LinkedIn profile, yeah, on LinkedIn you can search for Gideon Aniechi on
Hello,
LinkedIn.
Gideon, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So you can just search for Gideon Aniechi on LinkedIn, and then you would be able to see my LinkedIn profile from there.
Hello, Gideon, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Someone just asked, will you mind sharing your LinkedIn profile so we can follow you on LinkedIn for you know for subsequent updates. You know, as you share your from your wealth of knowledge about cybersecurity.
Yeah, that was what I was saying. You can check on I said my name on LinkedIn is Gideon Aniechi. All right. So if you search Gideon Aniechi on LinkedIn, you should find me. Okay, and then that would you can reach out to me.
Okay, thank you so much. Someone just asked
What's me?
is does someone just asked if Slavica is now where we train cybersecurity. Yeah, I think I will be able to answer this. Whether we change
Hmm.
cybersecurity. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we actually train cybersecurity. We just launched a program recently called Kickstart, where we train introductory courses for those that want to get into the space. So, for instance, if you've gone through this webinar, you realize that Gideon has shared a whole lot with us, and you won't just test your hand. You won't just take like a 1 month free training in cybersecurity. You can register for Skill of Africa's Kickstart courses. It's actually we are starting on Monday. You can check our social media pages and our website for training on that. It's actually free, a 1 month free training on cybersecurity. Where you learn a whole lot. And after a month, if you now decide on pursuing that line of that career path, you can do that. So we register for cybersecurity. So Gideon, it's been exciting here being with you here so far. I've learned, at least from between then and now, I'm a different person. I mean, you can't come here and say, what's cybersecurity? I will tell you that according to Gideon, he has told me this, and this. I can, I can actually share a lot with them, about cybersecurity. So it's been an interesting hour so far. It's about 1 hour 7 minutes on this already, which I never even know it was actually that fast. When you enjoy something, you don't know time is actually going. So it's been fun with you.
All right.
It's been fun with you. I must appreciate you for taking time out to be with us here today. I hope we will call you next time. You'll be able to hope you're able to come up to our platform again. We have other programs, other events that would like to invite you in. So guys, if you have more
I'll be
questions,
glad to
please
be
drop it
here.
for Gideon
I'll be glad
before
to be here.
before we call it a wrap today. So those are the questions we have so far here. And interestingly, we have people joining from Jigawa, with someone joining from different parts of Nigeria just to tune into and listen to our event today, which is we must appreciate our listeners from everywhere. And this event will be holding every 2 weeks, so you can always you get new update at that. From on Monday, we should have a topic for the next webinar where you can you know learn a new thing about tech. We're trying to democratize tech to everybody, beyond the tech is ambiguous. You can start from the basics. You can understand different parts, which Gideon has actually showed us one of them today. So it's been interesting to my end here. This is School of Africa's web series where we are always dishing out values, awareness about tech, and we'll be doing more of that in the coming weeks also. So Gideon, do you have any parting words for us, please?
Okay, so the only thing I would just say is that it's going to be the most relevant industry in the coming years. Like in the nearest future, it's going to be the most relevant industry. With the way things are changing and things are changing really fast, I'm sure that the types of device that are available now did not exist last year, you know, and in coming years, there's going to be more advancement. So, starting a career in cybersecurity right now or getting yourself into cybersecurity right now, it is not it's not going to be a gamble like I said earlier. It is a direction that you should go. Okay, if that's what you're considering, it's the direction you should go. And there are always resources, like I said, there are several resources online. But then, with the slides that I shared with you today, if you would follow the things that we've mentioned, I can tell you that in the next 2 to 3 months, you would have gotten your own cybersecurity job and you'll be doing great. I can assure you that. And, just spread the word. We are changing the world. And from ethnos, where I come from, we're solving problems. And that's why I am here. I actually came to answer your problems and then give you solutions. All right. So thank you guys for having me, Skillup Africa. Thank you for having me on your webinar today. It's a delight to be here. And thank you, Balogun, for being an amazing host. Thank you so much.
So thank you so much, Gideon. Thank you guys for being a part of this. From Facebook, from YouTube, from our LinkedIn pages. Thank you guys. So see you subsequent days where we'll share more value. Thank you, Gideon, for being a part of this. So we'll call it a wrap from our end. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Yeah, cheers.